or 6 months ago.
Okay. What was going on in your mind that you would call me?
I actually had some co-workers that I used to work with started doing some high-dollar federal contracting. I've been wanting to get back into it for a while, and someone emailed me your LinkedIn.
Okay, off LinkedIn.
Off LinkedIn.
And so what did you look at my profile or something?
Yeah, just started checking you out.
Okay.
Seeing what was going on. Saw some of the videos. Called you up, talked to you, figuring out, what the real deal was and if it was a scam.
So ultimately you decided to come here. So what put you over that doubt factor and you decide, okay, I gotta go to Austin?
If somebody who had that kind of experience doing what I did, see if there was something else I could learn, seeing if there was a better way of doing what I had been doing already, then I think it was worth it.
So now, give us your assessment of the last 3 days.
It's outstanding. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. That cost me a lot of money.
If somebody would have taught you this when you started doing government contracting, what would it have been worth financially?
Priceless.
Priceless?
Priceless. Yeah, I don't think you could put a price tag on it.
So for those people like you that doubted whether or not they could learn something from somebody who had done $1 billion in federal contracts, what would you tell them?
You can learn, for sure. Yeah, it's worth its weight in gold, I'd say.
What's your biggest takeaway?
How not to lose money doing federal contracts, which I've lost a lot of money doing it, and how to navigate those deep waters, how to keep yourself out of trouble, how to deal with them on a level playing field. As much as I'm a control guy and always put a facade on that the job was under control, deep in your mind you know that these are the big guys, it's the federal government, and if they want to come down on you, you really are at their whim, and now I know they don't have that control over me anymore,
So you got a whole new level of confidence?
Oh, yeah. And before, I was doing federal work, but I was also doing a lot of commercial work, and there's always that sector where, your money's not guaranteed, and that's why I wanted to go back into federal contracting because the government never not pays their bill, so now that it's just a win-win. Like you said, it was, you win some, you lose some is how I always was brought up and taught. You win some, you lose some, you take the hits, keep it moving and make it up on the next one. And now it's win-win.
So you ready to go back out and do federal contracts now?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Got a whole new game plan?
A whole new game plan.
Justin, Sean told me that you were the guy that said, this can't be real. There's something going on here. I can't believe that I can really do this. Is that true?
Well, that's what I'm told, so
okay.
I'll have to believe it. But yeah, I'm just very skeptical of something, sounds like it's too good to be true. I tend to believe it is too good to be true. So
it was tough for you to make that decision.
Yes.
Now, you brought your beautiful wife with you, Suzanne. And so what part did she play in this decision process?
You want to answer that?
I made him pull the trigger.
You made him pull the trigger. Okay. So what convinced you that this might be for real?
Well, I'm also naturally a very skeptical person, but I think sometimes you have to take a leap of faith.
Right.
And I think what we received here was a very condensed education, which to me has tremendous value. Obviously, I think we need to build upon it still. But at some point, you got to get on the horse. You can't just halfway get on and expect things to work out. So it's either you ride, you don't ride.
Even if you never did a federal contract, was there anything you learned in this workshop that's going to help you in your remodel and home building business?
Yeah. In fact, what I learned today, just on the legal side of things, there was something I mentioned to Suzanne that had I known that, I could have got paid on something that I didn't end up getting paid for. But yeah, essentially I learned I think not everything I need to know to be able to do this, but enough to get started and feel comfortable and know that, if I do have issues, that I have resources to go to.
And one of the concerns I think you had was, how much money do I have to put in this? And then you found out that some of the people who've been through this workshop had no money, right?
Yeah.
Although what they invested to get here,
right.
But yet they turned it into a highly successful federal construction business. So the idea of having an exclusive membership where we don't teach this to everybody in the world, we just have a select group, we get to pick and choose who comes into the workshop. How do you feel about that aspect of it?
Well, that's really important to me, because if I thought you were going to try to sell this to the whole world, I mean, your time is limited. So if I know that, yeah, there's only 50 guys doing this, I feel much more comfortable about being able to reach you and get some of your time.
So what was your biggest takeaway for the 3 days?
I kind of felt like if I came here, it's going to be too good to be true. It's not going to be what I think it's going to be. And I think I'm over that now, so I feel like, well, it isn't too good to be true. I mean, I don't expect it to be a piece of cake. I expect it to be hard work, and I'm not afraid to work hard, but I think it's real now, and I think I can do it. So,
tell me about your big takeaway.
I don't like to go into anything unprepared. I've worked in real estate for the last 7 years, and anytime I handle a contract, I want to go into every situation being the expert. I want to know exactly how to handle every contingency.
Right.
So my reservation was not knowing nearly as much as him about construction. Just trying to figure out how you're going to figure things out as you go. Not getting yourself into a tangled web and then going, how am I going to get out of this? So,
Right.
but I realized during this process of trying to decide if we're going to do it or not, you've got to be full steam ahead. If you're going to do it, you just got to do it.
How did you feel about being here in this room, learning this stuff together?
Well, because of the way we work in our business, there's plenty of times when Justin's called me with some random task that I have no idea about, and I have to get on the phone and find someone to do this job when I don't even know what the job is.
Right.
So for a wife that works like that, I would say absolutely, because he's going to absorb 50% if that, and I'm going to absorb 50%. So I think if you work together, you definitely want to do it. But it's also an investment, a major financial investment. So for that background, I would say you probably want to consider it for that reason too.
How about the 3 days for you? Because I know this was kind of an investment, not just in the money, the workshop, but to come down here and spend 3 days. Would you have liked it to be longer, shorter? How did the time work out for you?
I think 3 days is about right, because I despite Sean trying to keep you on task and shortening your stories, I like the stories.
Right.
And so, and you never know what you're going to get out of a story, and so I kind of, I enjoyed that aspect of it. But no, I had a good time for the 3 days. It went by pretty quick, and I felt like it was just about right.
So did you feel like it was important to be here this long to make that mental shift into a new game?
I think we got the knowledge we needed in 3 days. I think there's a lot we still need to learn, but I don't think we're ready to learn it. I think we haven't experienced enough yet.
Okay.
But I think it would be very valuable to be able to come back